Welcome back to Dishing You Well. I'm excited to have you guys back, of course. I hope everybody's enjoying their summer, staying safe, of course. And today, what we're going to be making is stuffed peppers. Not the traditional way. I'm actually going to be making it Italian style today, but don't worry. It's super simple, packed with flavor, and not a lot of ingredients. So right here is actually all the ingredients you will be needing today. So we're going to get right into it. You're going to be needing 1 pound of ground sweet Italian sausage. You can use the original, but I'm using the sweet Italian sausage today. You're going to be needing 1/2 of onion. I'm using a red onion. Feel free to use whatever onion you do have in hand. You're also going to be needing 1 box of chicken flavored rice-a-roni. You can use the beef. I suggest using the chicken. You're also going to be needing a little bit of olive oil, a 28 ounce can of crushed tomatoes. I'm using the San Marzano style. You're going to be needing a little bit of garlic powder, Italian seasoning, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You're going to be needing 8 ounces of shredded mozzarella. And of course, you're going to be needing your bell peppers. I'm using 4 bell peppers today, the tricolor, yellow, green, and red. For presentation purpose, you definitely want to use a variety of colors. And that's pretty much all the ingredients. So what I'll do now is I'll show you how to get the rice prepared, and let's go right into that. All right, so now we're going to get the rice prepared. The rice, you're going to make the rice the same way you were making a box of rice-a-roni on its own. So you would just make it the traditional way you'll make it. Right here I have like a tablespoon of olive oil. At the bottom of the pan is heated, and you want to go ahead, you want to take the seasoning packet out, and you just want to add in just the rice into the oil. You want to give that a stir. Make sure all of the rice kernels are coated, and you want to let that brown up. Once you start seeing a lot of the pieces turn a golden brown, you know to be ready. You just want to keep turning it. That'll probably take maybe 4 minutes, so that won't take long at all. So you're just going to basically get that browned up. Once it's all browned up, you'll be ready to to put the liquid in. Right now we're just going to let that brown up for 4 minutes. When I come back, I'll show you what it looks like when you add the liquid. All right, so as you can see, a lot of the kernels have turned golden brown. So that indicates you're ready to add in your liquid and your seasoning. So you want to go in and you're going to add 2.5 cups of water. And your seasoning packet. And you want to give that a stir. All right, so you're going to go in, turn your heat or your flame down to a medium low. You're going to add a lid, and you're going to let that cook on a simmer for 20 minutes. 20 minutes, you'll have perfect rice. Take it off the flame. In the meantime, we're going to go in and preheat our oven to 375. And now, while the rice is cooking up, I'm going to show you how to get these peppers prepared. All right. So while the rice is cooking up, I'll show you how to get these peppers prepared. And you want to start by cutting the tops off. So you don't want to cut too deep in, but you want to cut the tops off so that you'll have a hollow center so that you can stuff it. So you just want to take that out. You want to discard the inside and the seeds. You might want to give it a rinse with cold water. And you want the inside to pretty much look like this. Set it to the side. Make sure that the bottom is flat. If you have one that's having trouble standing up like this one, to solve that, the solution is basically go to the bottom of it and basically level it. So you'll level off. Don't cut into the pepper because you don't want any holes at the bottom, but you'll level it so that it'll stand. And you don't want to throw away the tops. You do want to throw away the stems, of course, but you want to keep the tops because we're going to cut this up and we're going to add it into our mixture. But again, you just want to cut off the tops, take out the center, you want to take out all of the white membrane also from the middle, because you want the inside as hollow and clean as possible so it can be prepared for stuffing. But you want it to look like so. Set that to the side. Again, you want to keep the top. You don't want the stem, but all of the pepper around the stem. You want to disregard this. Well, discard it, excuse me. And you want to use this for the filling. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up these two. In the meantime, I have a large pot of water boiling so that we can blanch the peppers. You want to blanch the peppers before stuffing them and putting them in the oven because it's going to cut down on a lot of cooking time. So I'm going to get these two cut. I'm going to get the tops off. I'm going to hollow them out. And then I'm going to go into how you get these guys blanched. We'll be right back. All right, so now that I've cut the tops off of all the peppers and I've hollowed them out. As I said, you want to keep the tops without the stem because you're going to use this for the filling. So you want to go ahead and you want to chop these up so that you can add it to the mixture. I'll show you how to do that later. But you want to get all of these chopped up, and you also want to get the onion chopped up. This will all be combined later for your filling. And as I said, this dish is going to be pretty much packed with flavor. Normally, I would use ground turkey or ground beef with this, but since I'm doing it Italian style, I just bumped it up a little bit with the Italian sausage. And it's going to be delicious. And if you don't have Italian sausage on hand and you want to use ground turkey or ground beef, go ahead. It'll come out just as delicious. But this is gonna really be a showstopper, trust me. That's our oven. It's pretty much heated to 375. So you want to definitely get that done while you're working to save time. So we're going to get all of that cut up and we're going to set it to the side. And when I come back, I'll show you how to blanch the peppers. All right, so as you can see, I have a pot of salted water. It's come to a boil. You definitely want to make sure that it does come to a boil before you proceed with the next step. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the bell peppers and we're going to drop them in. We don't want to boil them to cook, but we're going to blanch them. Make sure that the water fills in them. And you want enough water to basically, almost cover the peppers, because you want them to soften. You want them to cook a little bit. You definitely want to make sure that the water is completely to a boil before you add it. And you're going to leave that in there for 5 minutes. So we're going to set our timer to 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, we're going to take that out and we'll be ready for the next step. In the meantime, as you can see, the rice is complete. I turned it off the flame, so that step's complete. So after 5 minutes, after it's done, we're going to come back. I'll show you the next step. All right, so as you can see, I have my pan heated right here. We're going to start with the sausage. We're just going to add that to the pan. And we're going to break that up. Just going to add a tiny bit of olive oil to lubricate the pan. And we're going to brown that up. This will brown up pretty fast. So within around 10 minutes, this will be completely done. But what we're going to do is 5 minutes in, we're going to add our green peppers, our diced up peppers and onions to the mixture. So I'm going to let this brown up for around 5 minutes. When I come back, I'll show you how I add the vegetables. All right, so we're 5 minutes in, and as you can see, the sausage is pretty much completely browned. So now we're ready to add our veggies we chopped earlier. So you're going to go ahead and add the green, yellow, and red peppers and the onions to the mixture. And this will take another 5 minutes or so. You basically want to cook the veggies until they're softened and the onions are translucent. So that'll take no more than 5 minutes. So we'll let this cook for 5 minutes. When we come back, I'll show you what it looks like. Stay with me. All right, so 5 minutes later, as you can see, the veggies have pretty much softened and they're ready to go. So this is the perfect time to add in a few pinches of salt, some garlic powder. You want to season your layers. You always want to do that when you cook. You don't want to just season the salt or season the noodle. You want to season every layer. I like every portion of my food to have flavor. We're also going to add some Italian seasoning. And taste as you go. That's the only way that you'll know if your food needs anything. You always want to taste as you go. Don't be afraid to taste. So now that that's combined and well seasoned, this is pretty much done. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the flame and we're going to let this cool. The rice is already room temperature. We're going to let this come to room temperature. And then once that's done and it's came down to a room temperature, I'm going to show you how to get everything combined and ready to stuff these peppers. Come with me. All right, so before we get the mixtures combined and stuffed into the peppers, we're going to get our pan prepared. As you can see, I have a deep baking dish right here. I like to use a deep baking dish so that I can put the peppers in and be able to put foil over it when I put it in the oven. So I would definitely suggest using a deeper baking dish. I have the crushed tomatoes here. Before I add the crushed tomatoes, to the bottom of the pan first. I like to season it just a little bit. Just a little bit of garlic salt or garlic powder. A little bit of Italian seasoning. And you also want to add a little bit of salt. As I said, I like every layer to be seasoned, so. And just to cut back on a little bit of the acidity, I like to add a half a teaspoon of sugar. Give that a combine. Make sure you mix that well. Make sure it's well combined. And you just want to go ahead and add maybe a half an inch of liquid. To the bottom of the pan. Make sure the whole bottom of the pan is covered. Now you're pretty much ready to set the peppers in it. We're going to set the peppers in it. And now we're ready to get our filling combined and stuff. When I come back, I'll show you how we'll do that. All right, so you pretty much want to take the rice and the sausage mixture. I put the rice inside of the sausage mixture. And you just want to combine it. You want to make sure that it's evenly combined, no lumps. Make sure that the peppers, the onions, the sausage, and the rice is evenly distributed. Now you're ready to stuff the peppers. So you just want to go in and you want to press down as you stuff. You don't want to leave any air pockets. You just want to go in and stuff them. As I said, your oven should already be preheated to 375, so that's ready to go. You want to stuff them to the top. Go ahead in. Make sure you press down. Don't worry if some falls in. That's all going to be flavor. You're going to use the sauce in the end. Anyway, so all right, so this is what your peppers should look like when they're completely stuffed. You have your layer of sauce at the bottom. Now that you've stuffed them, you want to go in and you want to top off the tops with a little bit of sauce. This is why it was very important to season your sauce. You want to top off the tops with a little bit of sauce. Don't worry if it runs over a little bit. I know y'all waiting for the cheese, but the cheese has to wait. You don't want to add the cheese now because we're gonna add foil to this. Remember, our oven is already preheated, and we're gonna add this in the oven for 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, we're gonna take it out, and then we'll add the cheese and add it back in for a few minutes. But for now, we're gonna add this to the oven 45 minutes. When we come back, I'll take it out the oven. I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so after 45 minutes in the oven, this is what your pepper should look like. So now we're pretty much ready to add the cheese. So you just want to go right ahead and top the mozzarella cheese on top of the peppers. You want to pile it up as much as you can. It's going to eventually ooze over. So now you're going to cover it again, and what you're going to do is we're going to bake it for 30 more minutes. But we're going to put it in the oven for 15 minutes covered, and the remaining 15 minutes we're going to take the foil off and let it bake for 15 minutes uncovered. So we're going to do that now. When I come back, I'll show you exactly what it looks like. Okay, so after 15 minutes of it baking in the oven covered and 15 more minutes uncovered, this is exactly what your peppers should look like. You have the sauce at the bottom. They're completely done. I did top it with a little bit of Italian seasoning and parsley, but we're all done. And look how simple and easy that was. So all that's left is for us to dig in, and when we come back, that's exactly what we'll do. So there we have it. Delicious Italian style stuffed peppers. Tender, flavorful, just the way we like it. You want your pepper to be so tender that you can cut right into it. That's how you know your stuffed pepper has been cooked the right way. Now that's a stuffed pepper for you, man. Do you see how tender? Look at that rice, how flavorful that rice is. Oh man, that's what we're talking about right there. I want you guys to drop in the comments and let me know if you tried the recipe. If you're going to try it, let me know how it turned out. Again, I want you guys to make sure that you're subscribed and you like the video. Send me some comments, some suggestions. I appreciate your support. I love you guys for loving me. And as always, I'm dishing you well.